There are so many different nuances of tone with this Koa Dreadnought. This is straight acoustic guitar. You can hear all those sympathetic overtones just hitting one note. Yeah, once the intonation and calibration is lined up like that, this customer will be hearing this guitar for the first time. So that's straight acoustic. So this is the K and K system plugged straight into the Lab series. You know, it's no wonder these K&K systems have become so popular. It's so close to the natural sound of the guitar. This is probably the simplest calibration test you can do for your guitar. That garden variety C chord form at the 8th fret, making it a G. Same form. Listen to the overtones on this thing. Now a D, and then C. Let's do it again. So playing chords across the entire span of the neck is the best test ever. A. this is an A minor 9 to C sharp minor 7 over G sharp to G6 to B minor 7 over F sharp to F major 7 sharp 11 to E, back to A minor, to E 7 sharp 9. Just let that play. other thing that this customer will certainly appreciate is never even thinking about a battery. Man, this is acoustic. It's not plugged in now. Tons of attack. Scads of overtones. Nice crisp bass. Lots of mid-range punch. The top end is spectacular. There you go, Martin Koa Dreadnought, resurrected. Here's our final shot. This whole job. There's the ebony bridge pins with mother of pearl dots, the cantilevered compensated bone saddle for these 12 to 56 strings at concert pitch, our new frets, our reset neck, and the cantilevered compensated nut. These are the Spurzell machine heads that I took apart and lubricated and put back together. It's not just that the guitar plays fantastic, sounds fantastic, but it's super stable now that it's been calibrated. And with those Spurzell tuners, Paul will very rarely even reach to tune this guitar. So here is one of the trickiest parts of this whole job. When I stick that feeler gauge on there, we have the perfect amount of relief from the 1st fret to the 8th fret. Try that in the middle of the neck. Yep, and the outside. It's exactly what we were after. So we utilized that original relief that Martin had put in when this guitar was made. It was from the 2nd last fret up to about the 6th, where I did most of the sanding to control that trajectory to get the lay of the neck as it is now. So these are EJ19 bluegrass strings, 12 on the top, 56 on the bottom. The perfect match for this guitar. It sounds and plays awesome. And here's a good view of the fingerboard extension to the soundboard joint and the cheeks of the heel as they meet the sides. So by deepening the cut at the 14th and 15th fret, it allowed this fingerboard extension to lie down beautifully. And we're back to covering our tracks again. So at a glance, nobody would ever know the neck was ever off this guitar. Okay, on to the K&K system. This is the ingenious installation package they give you. Very simple but very effective. So the idea is this is like a little stethoscope that attaches to the underside of the bridge plate. You use this peg to line it up dead center with the 1st string. So it is only the 1st string where you line it up dead center. See, the other strings you split it between the middle 2 strings, D and G, and then the bass strings A and E. After years of research, they've come up with this formula. One of those details that you want to be aware of, instead of placing this between the first 2 strings, it's centered dead center on the 1st string. Essentially what we're doing is we're putting this directly underneath the saddle. You want to make sure that you don't push back too far, because if you think about it, the ball end of the string goes in there and then folds over. You want to make sure that that ball end does not touch the actual pickup. If anything, you're better off erring on the side of caution and maybe bringing it forward a little bit. So we use a thicker paste type of super glue. The indexing pins hold it in place. I gently push it up to the bridge plate, hold it for about a count of 60, and then release. Now the middle transducer is placed directly under the saddle in between the two middle strings, G and D. Again, word of caution, you're better off being a little too far forward just to ensure that those ball ends of the strings don't nip into your little stethoscope. We are getting ready to install the input jack. So I tend to use just like a 1/4-inch dowel, reach in through the tail block and index that dowel into the input jack, 1/4-inch jack, and then gently bring it back. And by the way, this isn't a paid advertisement. I just installed the last 7 out of 10 systems I've done have been K&K, so I thought it'd be a good idea to just kind of walk you through this system that is becoming increasingly more popular. Okay, now we have just the right amount of thread protruding. Put that washer on first. And now we put our little trim cuff on. Grab that with a chunk of leather and snug that down tight. That'll do. Always a good idea to jam a little paraffin wax into those threads. Now that Paul has this strap button to use for his strap, he'll never have to worry about that input jack loosening up because it will never be used for his strap. I did want to point out that I actually sand a little bit of a radius onto this foot of the button so that it fits snugly on that curved surface. Again, we've got a little paraffin wax on there. There's a lot of geometry going on here. The strap button into the heel, you have to make sure that that's sitting good and flush. Just about ready to go in and play this thing. So you have to make sure that you keep in mind that there is a curvature this way, a curvature this way, and that you want to make sure you get just the right angle so that the foot of that strap button plants firmly against the heel. And that will not rotate. So that just goes a long way to get it to sort of seat nice and flush with the curved surface of the heel. And this is for the 12 to 56 strings. I did install some solid ebony bridge pins with the pearl dot little brass ring, just to dress it up a little bit.